And David, it's time to end the podcast, and we are talking about a team we just talked about last week. Well, indirectly. We talked about Melo, but we talked about his best fits with the Rockets. You guys can go check that out. Video above Dave, or should have been above Dave at some point. But we're looking at the Rockets. So they signed Clint Capela. They've re-signed him. They give him a 5-year, $90 million extension. One more year than K-Love got, about $30 million less than what K-Love got. So they're bringing back Clint Capela. They're bringing in Carmelo Anthony, who said in an interview after signing, basically was asked, "Oh, you know what happens if you have to come off the bench?" And basically laughed it off and was like, "I ain't coming off a bench. Cue your AI. What MVP do you know to come off the bench?" Comments and
what
just
scoring champ you know that comes off the bench? What Olympian do you know that comes off the bench?
Exactly. And the thing is, the one thing that they lose mainly is they lose Trevor Ariza being one of the big guys.
And Luke Mamute.
Luke Mamute. I have this question then.
Mm-hmm.
Have the Rockets gotten worse this offseason? And I ask this question not because of the Capela signing, because that's obviously a good thing. If they would have lost Capela, I would have been worried about them finishing second in the West.
Oh, no, they would not have finished second in the West. He was a huge asset to this team.
But because of the Mamute being gone, Trevor Ariza being gone, Carmelo Anthony coming in, we don't know what we're going to get. Is Melo going to be able to basically know your role on this team? That's what I think.
You tell him to stay in his lane?
I think Melo needs to do that. If Melo wants to be a definite starter, this is not going to be a good year for the Rockets. So that's why I have to ask, have they gotten worse this offseason than they were last year?
Defensively, yes. Offensively, no, not necessarily. Overall, I think they're at about the same point. I think what it does do for them is add someone who can take over a game. I know it didn't happen during the last playoff run for OKC, but I think Carmelo Anthony, when properly motivated, is still one of the most dominant scorers we could see in the NBA. I think he still has a couple of games he can bust out. I like what they've done. I think that there was no way they could have matched Trevor Ariza's offer and kept this team intact. I think that they've got a lot of options. The biggest thing staring at me is Ryan Anderson. This boy can't play in the playoffs. He is he's a huge liability. His plus minus was horrifying. He was on the court for 3 minutes and there was a 12-point swing. It's just, as soon as he's out there, you're picking and rolling.
We were thinking he was going to get moved this year, and he didn't. We
were. But, he's got 2 years left on that contract, $20 million a pop, and he's going to get packaged. We're all assuming he's going to get packaged with a first-round pick to go to some team for some sort of veteran. That's the assumption. I've seen rumors out there, but nothing's really an advanced stage. This was probably going to happen during the season, if ever. But honestly, they've got a ton of scoring. That offense is going to roll. I think Carmelo Anthony will find his home with this offense. I think that will make him want to play defense to some extent, because when Melo's happy, he plays better. It's not a stretch to say it for any player, but he's one of those players who takes it to his heart.
Is he going to find that as a starter, though? Or will he have to come off the bench and basically...
Who you got coming... Who you got in front of Melo is my question.
Well, no, I'm not saying there's anyone in front of Melo, but just a thing of, we saw in OKC and we kind of overhyped it of, oh my God, they have Paul George now, they got Melo, they got Russ. How good can this team be?
And Steven Adams.
And Steven
The disrespect.
No, but I'm saying
the disrespect.
The big three were there. Steven Adams was basically the
mustache, bro.
He was the I don't want to compare him to Zaza. That's a slap in the face.
It's a
to
huge
Steven
slap.
Adams, and I don't want to do that. But he's not like the LeBron, D Wade, Chris Bosh of that Thunder team.
Fine, I'll give you that.
But the storyline of last season, we hyped them up in the offseason.
Yeah, rightfully so.
They struggled early on. It's what are we going to see? No, they'll be fine.
And they were.
And yeah, they picked it up, but it was never they never lived up to the expectations that we set for them last year.
We're fans.
I worry that with Melo, that he, what everyone's saying in the media right now is completely true. At this point in his career, he's going to have to, if this team, basically Charles Barkley if he's starting for this team and it's just not working out, he's got to have the same moment that Charles had to where it's like, hey, I'm going to go to coach and say, hey, you got to put him in ahead of me. I'll come off the bench because it ain't working out for this team. Because the thing that I worry about the Rockets this year is, first off, CP3's health, but that's always a worry.
Every single year. Yes.
That comes down to postseason, though. Carmelo Anthony and Howie, yes, this was the best team for him to sign with.
100%.
But for the Rockets side, is this going to be the true fit? That is Melo going to be a helpful addition to this team, or something that we look back and go, man, he really hurt them more than he helped them this year? And then I look at it and go, the main test of, with this roster right now, if this team went up against the Warriors again, what is going to happen? And will the home court change? Basically, are the Rockets going to be that dominant team all year to be that number 1 seed again, or do they slip to the 2 seed this year?
All right, you asked a lot of questions there. So
I threw a lot out there.
I'm going to try to unpack it. From last to first, are the Rockets going to be another great regular season team? Absolutely. A healthy Chris Paul, James Harden, and Clint Capela combo went 42-3 or something stupid last year. So yes, I think that assuming we bubble wrap Chris Paul, this team is going to be another probably 60-win regular season team, 58, 60-win range. They're right there.
Yeah.
Is that first? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see if that can do it this year. Who knows how many games the Warriors are going to play all out. Let's be honest. Second, I think that it would be an interesting conversation to tell, Carmelo Anthony, that James Ennis is starting over you. Ryan Anderson starting over you at the 4. I just don't see it happening. Eric Gordon is an amazing bench player, and I know they swing him out to go 3 wide and they play super small and use PJ at the 5. But I just don't know. I don't foresee any of these guys jumping over Carmelo Anthony on the depth chart.
Let me throw this out. What if they did a starting, maybe a starting lineup at one point of Chris Paul, James Harden, Eric Gordon, PJ Tucker, Clint Capela?
I mean, you can do that, but I think that
and that backcourt, basically, it's, I think, Gordon at the 2, Harden at the 3 technically, but they're basically positionless.
I would swap that, but just because of size and speed.
Yeah,
at this
whatever.
Point in their careers.
You can put it wherever you want. Is all I'm saying. Chris Paul's locked at the 1.
Right.
Capela's locked at the 5. You put PJ Tucker at the 4. That's the only lineup I can see where it's all right, Melo, are you okay being the 6th man in this lineup?
I don't think you start that lineup ever because I think you want Carmelo Anthony in the game to start the game. I think it's a slap in the face and it's stupid. That's a fight.
Well, being maybe I should say this.
I could see a rotation where he's not in the game.
Yeah, maybe not being a starter. You start the game.
Yeah.
But minutes-wise,
he's going to get 28 minutes a game. He's going to get 30 minutes a game. It's not going to be 35 minutes of Melo. We're done with that era. I don't think anyone expects him to be. So, no, I mean, minus playoffs where we'll see how he performs. But, he's got a whole regular season. D'Antoni, he's a smart offensive coach. He's gotten defense out of James Harden, which is like squeezing water out of a rock. I'm not ready to cast doubt on what this team can do. From what I've seen, their signings, some of these young kids that they stole in the draft, you know how high I am on DeAnthony Melton.
Yeah.
I think he's going to contribute year 1 as a second-round draft pick. Look, there's just enough here for me to say I see them plowing through the regular season, yet again healthy, and I see Carmelo Anthony being a starter, 82 out of 82 games, barring injury, and I know they're going to have fun with their lineups, but that's the thing. They've got some versatility. You don't have to have him out there. You can run NSPJ Tucker. Tucker plays 3 through 5. He's a unique kind of character.
Yeah.
You've got Clint Capela, who we've seen, he actually got pushed off the court last year due to all of the all the switches from the Warriors. But at the same time, that was their money, was Chris Paul and James Harden running that lane, pick and slide to the hoop. It wasn't really a roll, but yeah, pick and slide to the hoop. Basically, you have to decide, do you let James Harden, Chris Paul walk up to the hoop, or do you swing up on them and then they just toss it to Capela? It's lose-lose. It was one of the most efficient plays in the NBA last year. I honestly don't see this team having a struggle until they hit the playoffs. I think as long as they keep Carmelo Anthony in check as far as like, dude, we get it. You're a stud here, and we want to treat you that way. The offense will rotate through Chris Paul's hand, through James Harden's hands. Ball movement is key. Don't go ISO Joe on us. Like, that's the key. Last year, they even picked up, I almost forgot, they had ISO Joe. Like, that was their backup plan. When things go bad, now they've got a legit version of that. Instead of a late 30s ISO Joe, you have Carmelo Anthony, who, if you need a bucket, he can get you a bucket. And I think that's super underrated at this point in his career. And at this point for this team, where we watch him struggle to make shots from the outside because they are so wiped from playing all this defense, from playing defense against the best.
Playing defense at all.
Playing defense against, the second or first best, probably the first best, offensive team in the NBA, So I don't see it as being a negative anywhere here. I think that all around, yes, you're going to miss Trevor Reese. Yes, you're going to miss Luke. But like what those two guys did for you, you're going to get some different things out of Carmelo Anthony. Is it going to be equal, better, worse? I can't tell you yet. But what I can tell you is you should not be disappointed about Carmelo Anthony coming here, because I think he's due for a rebound year. I think if there's one team in the league he will play hard for, it's this team. I think if there's one offense that can figure out a way to utilize him again, it is definitely Mike D'Antoni's.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that I'm kind of looking at is to look at, to me, the record. Not necessarily because I know, like, you were talking a lot about Melo and, like, going back to how he fits in.
We should probably talk more about Clint Capela, because that's a big signing.
Well, I mean, Clint Capela, to me, it was easy that, like, my feelings on this. Great, you got him back. Because if you didn't, I'd be worried about this team. That's all.
Do you remember early in the season when he was like an MVP? He was like number 4 in the power rankings for MVP. Yep. Like he's
a good player, like really good player. And here's the thing, like going with the Rockets and what I can expect from them this season. Yet again, if you didn't listen to our Lakers segment, you're not listening all the way through on Blog Talk Radio. I'm going to catch you up on the TLDR of it. Basically, what I said in the Lakers segment was I have 3 tiers to my Western Conference. Tier 1 is the Rockets and the Warriors. Put them in whatever order you want. Tier 2 is Lakers, Thunder, Jazz. Put them in whatever order you want. Then my last tier is like Pelicans, Spurs, T-Wolves, Nuggets, Clippers, Lakers. Put them in whatever order you want for the final 3 spots. Here is what I'm thinking for the Rockets, though, and this comes into just that tier 1. Are they going to be first or second in the West this year? And I'm not saying this is going to for sure make them a second-place team, but it plays into, you say, whoever rests more games.
Yeah.
But also I look at this.
Well, whoever's healthy.
I look at a few games. Like, first off, the Lakers last year. Against the Lakers, the Rockets went 3-1 against the Lakers. Maybe this year they go 2-2. Maybe with LeBron, they go 1-3. You don't know how that's going to play off if it's the same thing.
I want to ask if you go a little more detail about that matchup, because
I would say 2-2.
Do you think LeBron James is enough to put that young core over
I would say
Chris Paul, James Harden, Clint Capela, Carmelo Anthony?
I wouldn't be surprised in the regular season if they split the season series.
All right.
And went 2-2.
I appreciate the honesty.
If you look at the Clippers, last year it was, all right, they lost the first one, lost the second one, won, and then I think they played one more time. No, they only played, they played 4 times. So they went 2-2 against the Clippers.
Yeah.
Maybe this year, I'm not saying they do the same. What if they slip up a game there and go 1-3? And then the last team that I think, and these are only the teams that I think are going to be better this year, of course, the Western Conference, like people are going to throw out that Memphis should be better and that the Suns got better. But these are the 3 that I think will be actually challenging for playoff spots.
Yeah.
You look at Denver, 1-0 for the Rockets. Then if I go down 2-0, 3-0, and they finished 3-0 against Denver last year, who's to say that Denver, with what they have added, don't steal a game, maybe 2, I'll say a game right now, from the Rockets. And I know they finished 7 games ahead of the Warriors. Who's to say? And the same thing goes for the Warriors. Like, some of these games could get stolen from the Warriors if they're sitting Durant and Curry and everything.
But if Boogie comes back like we expect, may the good Lord help you, because that's going to be ugly.
I mean, with that and these other teams being more competitive in the Western Conference, especially those bottom feeders trying to fight for the playoff.
No, there's a lot of young teams that are hungry.
Maybe this is a closer 1-2 race than we saw last year between the Rockets and the Warriors.
You're not going to have teams like the Kangs and the Suns.
The
Kangs and the Suns. I will call them the Kangs until they prove me wrong.
It's an A, not an I.
Yeah, until they prove me wrong. You're not going to have those teams intentionally losing games, for the last 2 months of the season.
Yeah.
It's just not the case this year. Like, we're going to start off, everybody's got a shot. I agree. The West is super close. It's 11 deep. It's crazy to think.
I mean, I throw out the Grizzlies. Let's be honest. Like, if
they're going to be in the playoffs.
If they're fully healthy, add them into that third tier.
I was surprised you didn't mention them earlier.
I didn't add them in only because I want to see them play games and see them healthy first. Right now, they've never proven to me that they can be healthy. So why? It's kind of like the Browns in the NFL. Yeah,
I think up to last year they were.
I think the Browns will be better this year. But until you show me what you're going to do out there, show me what you're going to be before I start buying.
I know this is an NBA show, but I got the Browns. Their roster looks like the early days of I was telling Ricky 2 years ago, the Jags were on paper
when
this
I was
could work.
buying in hardcore, the hype train on the Jags. And
then they won 5 games. But this team could work. On paper, that totally could do a thing.
Which I learned from the comment section. It's Jaguars, not Jaguars, like my accent likes to.
The Jaguars.
It's Jaguars, not. I kept saying Jaguars.
Yeah, it's not Wires.
Yeah, it's my Chicago accent. We put that in there. It's not Chicago.
We don't.
It's not Chicago. It's Chicago. It's a hard CA. It's when you say it. Do you say Chicago or do you say Chicago? You say Chicago. That's just how our accent is, Dave. But back to the Rockets, they could be Do you think they're still the 1 seed in the West, or are they the 2 seed?
I still got them as the 1. I think regular season, they have a ton of talent. I think they're going to get better than last year. Or not get better than last year, but
even with
last year.
Yes, they added
like I said 58 to 60 something 60 wins. That's right above where the Warriors finished last year. I think the Warriors
right at
Warriors
right
won
near.
58 last year. I think that's with Steph missing a portion of the season, KD missing multiple games. I think Klay was the only one who actually was healthy for the majority of it.
So if I'm not mistaken, I'm just getting clarification here.
Yeah.
Instead of a 7-game cushion that the Rockets
I think it's going to be
1-2.
Okay. I think they're going to be very close.
Yeah,
I think the winner of the West is probably a 60-61 wins.
Right now, I'm leaning towards Boogie coming back in February.
I think he's coming earlier.
And as soon as he comes back, the Warriors are going to, I know that people are going to say, Ricky, you're overhyping it.
No.
They're going to go on a wrecking train, and they are good. The Rockets will have the conference for most of the year. Boogie comes back, Warriors are going to roll into the playoffs, and it's going to be oh, dear God, help us.
My 2 boldest predictions of the offseason are Boogie and Markelle Fultz are both going to shock the goddamn world.
You really think Markelle will?
I do. I absolutely do.
Because we got to get...
I know this is preview, but these are just bold predictions.
What I was going to say is we got to give the Sixers some love because the last few podcasts, our patron Jake has been feeling a little sad that we've been taking jabs at the Sixers.
Sean's been very happy with what... obviously the Indianapolis Pacers did by adding in
buying into the hype train.
Yeah.
After they took his car from him.
And that they did. That they did. I think that there's a lot of reasons to be happy with a lot of these middle-level teams in the East, adding talent, starting to become contenders. It looks like it's going to be a fun race. And, that's what we want in these. With LeBron gone, I want to see the level-ish playing field. I want to see all these young teams come up with a ton of talent. So, 76ers, you shouldn't feel bad, Jake. I'm not leaving you. I'm still your boy.
I feel a little part of it, and Jake, you can tell me if I'm wrong. I feel a little part of it too is you're upset LeBron didn't come.
Didn't pay you the time of day.
You're upset that really the 76ers have not had the best offseason.
Haven't they?
In general, so you're kind of feeling
Brian Colangelo...
You're kind of
getting exposed to bad offseason.
You're kind of feeling like the sky is falling right now.
But they did get Zaire Smith. They did get a 2021 unprotected pick.
Yes.
Everything
will I'm gonna Aaron Rodgers you, Jake. Relax. It's all gonna be okay. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you think about the Rockets, about them re-signing
Capela.
Clint Capela.
Do you think the price was right? Do you think that because I feel like he was looking for more money.
Talk about that. Like,
I know.
For him,
I'm curveballing you at the end of the show. Because I was wondering if it was going to be a Nerlens Noel situation, but obviously he's done so much more. Well, but in the same context of, I deserve my money, and then he gets shorted. They got him to a long-term deal.
For the Rockets, yes. For Clint Capela, no, because he doesn't get... I believe he's worth a little...
Because look at Steven Adams' contract.
Let me put it this way. If Zach LaVine and Jabari Parker can get at least $20,000 million,
big difference.
Well, I'm thinking about what they showed.
So many zeros.
What they
so many zeros.
Yeah, exactly. I'm taking a dig at Zach LaVine because he's still got to show me what he can do this year before I give him any credit. But no, if Zach LaVine and Jabari Parker can get the contracts that they got, Clint Capela is going to be making less money than those two this year.
Didn't Jabari have some comments about how he makes this money?
Yeah, not like offense, not playing any defense.
Yeah.
But I feel like Clint Capela is, in my mind, I don't know if you feel differently, is worth more than Zach LaVine or Jabari Parker. That's the only thing, like looking at it like...
I don't know.
Really, that's the thing that bugs me on the Clint Capela side.
It's the center position versus wing. I think wing has more value right now. I think Clint Capela has
let's be honest, the Zach LaVine one was the Kangs were.
I know they fucked us.
But like the Jabari, like $20,000 for a
million,
$20 million for a 3-4 who doesn't is gonna play offense, and we don't even know he's going to be off of the injury.
He can attempt to D. He's played half of last season.
From the Rockets standpoint, I like it. From Clint Capela, I feel bad that he might have.
I think he got some good money, but I thought he was going to be closer to Steven Adams numbers, personally. But no, I think the thing long-term lock-in is good for this team.
The thing that screws
they're keeping the
over,
core. Yeah.
The thing that screws over this Rockets team, and we've talked about it before, is Chris Paul.
Oh, I was saying
Chris Paul contract. They're going to be locked down.
Yeah.
They're going to be locked down. I don't think Chris Paul is effective throughout this entire contract.
I mean, Steve Nash played pretty well up until his final injury, basically.
Yeah, but I'm
trying to think of old point guards.
Yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong. Steve Nash didn't have the quite as busy injury history as CP3 had. Am I wrong?
Nash had injuries.
Yeah, but
not
CP3
as many as
getting
CP3
injured almost
known
every offseason. Yeah, it's a new injury.
CP3 is known for his injuries. I'm just saying, Steve Nash, Jason Kidd are and even I know he was never a superstar, but Derek Fisher, consistent point guard who played up, later into his career. So I think at 37, you're looking at a lot of money going to $44 million going to a 37-year-old Chris Paul.
36, 38, 41, 44. That's how it plays out the next 4 years. Let's put
how much is guaranteed out of the end is the
I
question.
have no idea what's guaranteed out of the end, but I just know that I don't think he's playing that entire contract effectively. By 3-4,
you're not gonna be in your prime at 37, but at the same time, he's Chris freaking Paul.
It was a.
All right, give it to me.
All of it is guaranteed.
Yikes!
I
remember there was a question I was going to ask.
It's an 159, 730. 759 million.
No, you're already bad at numbers. Don't read numbers out loud.
159,730,592, and all of that is guaranteed. And it's going to be an annual salary of $39,932,648.
President of the Players Union got a rep. That's all you got to do.
And the last dig I'll throw at Chris Paul to piss off Rocket fans. If the Thanos snap actually happens in real life and Samuel L. Jackson disappears, we got our replacement for Mr. Glass in the Glass movies, because that's CP3 every year. Just breaking something. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you think down below in that comment section. Have the Rockets gotten worse this year? Have they gotten better this year? And we're wrong. What do you think about the Clint Capela signing? Let us know what you think down below in that comment section. If you're listening on podcast services, let us know what you think about everything we talked about. Thanks to Bill. Bill joined us. It seems like so long that Bill joined us. It was the first segment. A great segment about Kevin Love. Also, a little bit of housekeeping in the end. If you want to be like Bill, check out Patreon. Down below is the link. You can also get our t-shirt, store link in the description, or at mostvaluablepodcast.com, where you can also catch MVP each and every day. And last but not least, if you have Apple Podcasts, you have iTunes, make sure to give the Fast Break a 5-star rating. and tell us why you like listening to the podcast each and every week. I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Sean will be back next week, but will you?
Ricky's wearing shoes. I just wanted to show that
No,
off.
I'm wearing sandals. There's a
difference.
All right. Here's no. Here's my last thing for the comment section and everyone watching. And I love how I put these at the end because it shows the real people
Who's watching
that watch
the whole
all
way.
the way through. Here's my question. Is it that much difference? Like, is it that much different if I wear a sandal? I'm putting out my foot right now, and you still see my toes. You still see my foot. You just see a black strap around my feet. How much different is it? I was thinking about that today because I've been wearing sandals.
There's something
for
distinctly
the better half
different.
Of a few
It's
months.
somehow more disgusting without sandal.
Not asking you, Dave. Asking the comment section. Let us know what you think down below in the comment section. But as always, have a good day, everybody.